Welcome back to the Thrifty Upcycler. We have an amazing show today. I'm really excited about it. We are going to be talking all about how to decorate your bedroom. I am going to be showing you how to stencil your own designer pillows. And we also have an amazing guest today. I'm really excited. We have Camille here from the Urban Upcycler, who is an amazingly fantastic furniture refinisher, and she's going to be showing some of her beautiful work. So I'm really excited. So kick off your shoes, get comfy, and we're going to have a great time today. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about bedrooms. How do you feel about your bedroom? Do you love it? Or is it the one room in your house that you run to make sure your door is closed before your guests arrive? Now, I've been there before, I've done it, and it's actually one of the spaces in our homes that seems to get the least amount of love. So one of the things we're going to be talking today is how you can create a beautiful space, because let's face it, our bedrooms are really important for ourselves and for our well-being. It's a place where we can go and we can disconnect. We have a little bit of sanctuary if we need it. You can read a book, and of course, it's really important to get a good night's sleep as well. So where do we start? How do we start? So one of the most important things, I think, is having some inspiration or having a jumping off point when you are looking at decorating your bedroom. So do you have maybe a throw that's been handed down from you from your great grandma, or maybe you have a piece of art that you love? There's ways that you can take some of those elements in your pieces and either replicate the color in your space or even the feel. And the other thing, not everybody knows exactly what their inspiration is. And for some people, it can be a little bit difficult to figure out what our style is. And that's okay. There's a lot of resources out there to really help you. And one of the things that I really love doing, and I always advise clients, is that if you're not sure where to go with it, to hit Pinterest. Pinterest is one of the best places where you can get really great pictures, and it helps you kind of catalog what you like. So usually one of the things that I tell people to do is to take a look through Pinterest and start getting a feel of what things you love. Maybe you like certain colors. Maybe you like the style of one of the rooms that you see. But that's a really great way to be able to start figuring out what your style is. Now, the last tip that I can give you is, what is the feeling that you're looking at trying to have in your space? What's the feeling you're trying to emote? Now, one of the things, I read an article a little while ago from Carl Owens, who's a Canadian interior designer, and he described two people, essentially, that kind of represent what style that you like with your bedroom. So there's two kinds of people. Essentially, you are either a cloud, which is you like really airy and flowy spaces, or you're a cave. So if you kind of think of it that way, it's a really great way to kind of figure out what the mood is that you're going for. So cloud, again, is really airy. Cave, we want dark, we want rich, we want really a moody kind of feel in our bedroom, which I think is such a great way to be able to describe it. So now that you have an idea, you can think of whether you're either a cloud or a cave, and we can start getting to the good stuff. So in terms of what you need in your bedroom now, you need to look at having a few things, and I've got them all listed out for you to kind of help you out. So number one is you want to look at having some really amazing textiles in your space. So especially in your bedroom, I think it's so important having really nice textiles. And one of the things that I really love to do is I like to touch things whenever I go into the stores to feel how it feels against my skin, especially because you're going to be in your space, and a lot of these things are going to be touching your skin. You want to make sure that it feels good for you. So I brought in a couple of things. So having a throw is a really lovely way, and this is actually kind of like a faux fur. And I'm going to tell you a little secret. I actually got this for $15. $15 for this gorgeous throw. I love it because it's a really dark, moody kind of color. So if you were a cave, this would be a really beautiful throw to have in your space. But $15. So the next thing that I want to show you too is that curtains are really important. It helps kind of hide the light when we're sleeping, so we can make sure that we can have a really good restful sleep. But I'm going to show you two that I found. So I love these ones here because, so this is kind of for your cave dweller, I would say. They really have a really nice, lovely pattern on it, but these are also blackout shades. So they darken the room, so you don't have to worry about having any light coming through if you're kind of going for that cave effect. And another thing, I only got them for $10. So there's lots of really great ways that you can decorate your bedroom and not have to spend a ton of money. These guys here, I just want to show you really quick, but I love the textures. And again, I only spent maybe $10 on these guys here. But these are a really great way to bring some really lovely texture into your space. And of course, sheets are also really important too. So whatever you do, I always recommend go in, touch things too. Make sure it's going to feel good against your skin. Another thing, your pillows are really important to have in your bedroom too. It's a really nice way to add some texture and to be able to add a little bit of color and accent into your space. So that's one thing. So the next, lighting is also so important when it comes to bedrooms. Lighting is so important. So I'm going to kind of go through a few tips on how to have really good lighting in your space, because it really does depend. Because if you enjoy sleep, if your partner enjoys sleeping and you like to have, be able to read a book, having the right kind of light, because you don't want to keep people up when you're sleeping. So there's a couple of things. So there's three kinds of lighting. There is general lighting, which is kind of your pendants, and that lights the whole space. The next is task lighting. And task lighting, what it does is it focuses, if you are reading a book, it's something that focuses on a particular area. There's also accent lighting, and accent lighting is pretty fantastic because if you have a really beautiful space, if you have a certain area that you really want to stand out, you can use that lighting just to kind of accent that space to really make it stand out. So, and I should also mention here too, my goodness, I almost forgot. Okay, so these lamps are all lamps that I actually thrifted and made. So this is an MCM lamp. I happened to find this, and I don't even think I paid more than $20 for it, but it's gorgeous. There's lots of really lovely texture, and it'll kind of be perfect in a bedroom. This little sconce here, we actually made these. And it has an Edison bulb, which I love. It's decorative, but it's also very functional. And I love the wood. I actually, with this wood here, I kind of did a whole bunch of different techniques. I painted it, I used some waxes, and we actually built all of this. So that's it for that. The last thing that's really important is we want to look at having proper storage, because having storage is really going to help you not have tons of laundry in your space that you kind of have to deal with, and to keep things not chaotic. So a couple of things. I have a couple of pictures that I want to show you really quick before we move into the storage. So this piece here, for example, this was a piece that I had thrifted and we fixed up. I also have a couple of pictures of some furniture as well that I want to show you as well. Oh, there we go. Okay, so perfect. So this piece here, I found at a thrift store, painted it up, and this is perfect for storage. Nice deep drawers, really important to have beautiful and functional pieces. So the next picture, we have one more picture. I just want to show this really quick. This is from Salvage by K. Scott. Two side tables that are really gorgeous and going to create a really beautiful space. So we're going to come back in a few minutes, and I am going to show you how to do a really amazing DIY on how to make your own custom pillows that you can put into your bedroom. Stay tuned.
The Thrifty Upcycler is presented by Fusion Mineral Paint. This zero VOC paint is available in a wide range of colors and decorative finishes. Fusion Mineral Paint inspires us to paint it beautiful.
Hey, welcome back. Okay, so this is one of my favorite parts of the segment. I love doing DIYs, and I'm going to show you guys how to make a beautiful designer-looking pillow all on your own, and it's really easy to do. So a couple things what you need first. First, you need to go out and you need to find yourself a stencil that you like. So this is one that I chose. It's a mandala. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So you need one of these. A couple of the other things that you're also going to need as well is you need to get some paints. So what I'm going to do, I know I've done stenciling before, but I'm going to do something a little bit different today, and I think you're really going to love it. I'm going to do more of a blended look. So I'm going to blend in a few different colors, and it's going to look amazing. And it's really easy to do, guys. So I'm going to walk you through all the steps. So what you need is I've chosen 3 different colors. just like these guys. So I've got Midnight Blue, I've got Fusion's Renfrew Blue, which is like a really gorgeous teal color, and I also have Inglenook 2, which is like a really soft grade blue. And I'm also going to throw in just a touch of vintage gold metallic, because why not? Metallics are awesome anywhere. So this is going to look amazing in your bedroom. So what I've done is I've gone out and all I bought is just this little pillowcase cover, just like this. Okay, plain, nothing much going on. Now you don't have to use this color in particular. You can use whatever color you want, but for the colors that I'm going to be using, I really want it to stand out. So I think it's going to look really amazing on the white background here. And I think this is probably going to be a little bit more of a cloud person's style. But again, you can choose whatever you want. So one quick thing before you get started, when you are looking at doing a stencil pillowcase, there's a couple things, and I've learned this the hard way. So what you need to do before you even start stenciling, you should need to either use some wax paper or some cardboard, something like that, and you're going to put it right in between, right inside it, just like that. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because when you're using paint on fabric, sometimes it can soak through to the other side, and we don't want that. We want this to look really clean and looks like you got it right out of a department store. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to center my stencil on exactly where I want it, and I'm going to make sure that my cardboard piece is right underneath it, which it is. Perfect. Now once I got it exactly where I want it, it's really important to use tape. Now, I often like to freehand stuff, but this isn't something that I would freehand on, just in case there's any movement to the stencil and you start losing the gorgeous outline of it. So I'm just using some tape. If you have painter's tape, you can use that. Even masking tape, sometimes you can get away with it if you need to. And you're just going to tape it in place. So the nice thing now is it's not going to move. Perfect. Okay, so once we've done that, you're going to get yourself a stencil brush. Now these are really important, and it's going to help so you don't have any bleed through coming through your stencil. So if you notice, it's a nice round brush, and you see it's a pretty stiff bristle as well, so it's going to make sure that it's going to hold the paint white well and it's not going to sneak under. So what I'm going to do, and this is key when you are stenciling, I know I've talked about this part before, but this is really important to get a really nice effect. So I'm going to take a little bit of paint just like this, and then I'm going to dab it off. And you're pretty much going to dab most of it off before you start stenciling. So once I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start going around the sides just like this. I want to have the darker blue just on the edges, just like that. I need a little bit more paint. You can also use a plate. I'm just using these like the top of the paint lids here, and that seems to work quite perfectly for me. So here I go. I'm going to keep working on this, and you see I'm just gently dabbing all over the edge of the stencil. And I'm just going to keep working on it. And the nice thing about using, doing like a blended stencil like this, is it just creates such a beautiful custom effect to it. It really does look like you just got it right out of the department store. So I'm just going to keep dabbing, and again, dabbing is really important, because if you start to really put too much paint on and you start to brush it on, it's going to start to look, it's going to start to seep through the edges. The other thing, in terms of choosing the colors for something like this effect, you kind of want to stay within the same color family. So as you notice, I have chosen a darker blue, and then it's going to slowly bleed into the gorgeous teal color. And then it's going to go to the really nice blue color. Okay, so I'm going to show you this part here. So when you are looking at doing a stencil like this, so I want to start looking at changing the color right through here. Okay, this is when I'm going to start blending my other colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dark blue, and I'm just going to start dabbing just along the edges of where I want to start blending the next color. Okay, just like that. Just a little bit. Now I'm only going to work on this side because I want you to be able to see the effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my next color now, this really gorgeous teal. First, what I'm going to do though, I need to get most of the paint off my brush, so I don't even bother using a different stencil brush. We're going to be sort of mixing the colors together anyways until it kind of goes into its own straight color. And I'm just going to dip it into this, same effect. You're going to dab off most of it, and then I'm going to start working it into it. So because I've already started to put a little bit of the darker blue onto where I want to put this color, it's going to really create this gorgeous effect. And it's funny, sometimes people think like, really, you can paint fabric? Yes, you can. And it's a really great way. I think if you have specific patterns that you like, or you want to be able to bring in specific colors into your space, this is a really fabulous way to do it. And it's really easy. It's not that expensive. I think I purchased this from like a big box store, this pillowcase. I think it was $5.99. I have the paints, and I can just start working on it. So again, I'm just going to keep working through. And then I'm going to go to this really gorgeous light blue color here and start working it through. And I do kind of the same thing. And I'm just going to keep dabbing. And really the key to doing this properly is to make sure that you don't have too much paint on your brush. Now you can start to see the effects. It's funny because whenever you do stencil, it's always kind of tricky because you can't really see exactly what it looks like, but if you follow these tips, it's going to be really gorgeous. So I want to show you what this looks like. So after using those three colors, here's what you can create. A beautiful stenciled pillow. See all the colors. You can see all the gorgeous blending that's come through. It turned out perfectly. I love it. So again, tips: get yourself a gorgeous stencil, find yourself a pillowcase, and you can really easily recreate this. So have some fun, get painting. Stay tuned. We have another great guest coming up. Welcome back. We have an amazing guest on today. I'm really excited to have her on. We have Camille Wanjohi on here from the Urban Upcycler. She creates really gorgeous furniture. She's extremely talented, and I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome to the show, Camille. Thanks so much for coming on. We have had you on before, but I'm excited to have you back because you're going to be doing a really cool demo for us.
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for having me, Erin.
Of course.
Well, I've been painting furniture for about 4 years now, I'd say. It started because I was painting pieces for my home. And as I was sharing projects on social media, I started getting custom order requests from friends and family. And but all of this really started because of my mom. Mm-hmm. She has been painting furniture for years, like way before Pinterest even existed. And one day, completely out of the blue, my husband decided to come home with a beautiful tall boy wooden dresser that he picked up on the curb, completely by chance. It was lovely, but it was a little bit dated, so I thought it was such a perfect opportunity to try to upcycle it. So my mom and I, we went to pick up all the supplies, and she walked me through the entire process, from sanding to the finishing details. And about 1 year later, the Urban Upcycler was established.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Wow, that's an amazing story with how you got started. Now, I know your work. I think it's fantastic, and I find it so artistic and wonderful. So what we're going to do is I want to show our viewers a few pictures of some of your work, and then I want to get to the demo. So these are some of your pieces that you've worked on before. Yeah. Gorgeous. You've completely redone them.
Now that's a wrought iron vanity. So we got this one off of Marketplace on Facebook, which is my favorite place to get. Mm-hmm. Beautiful pieces that need some new life, need some new love. So this one, it definitely looked like it was straight from the 70s. Yeah. But it had so much potential. As you can see, it's very feminine. Yeah. Wrought iron pieces, especially when it's mixed with metal and beautiful shabby seats, they typically they are quite popular.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, here's your coffee table. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that in a second. I want to find out a little bit more. Yeah. And I know we have a few more other, a couple of other pictures. That's a side view of it. It's so gorgeous. I love what you've done with it. And these, my goodness, so fantastic. Yeah. I think one of the things that I really love about your work is that it's just so unique, and you can see how much fun you're having with it. You know, exactly. And you can see. Yeah. And I love the fact that, you know, you take risks with patterns and colors, and it's pretty awesome. So I really want to get right to the demo because because
Of
I'm really
course.
excited about it. First of all,
Yes.
what is this? Oh my God, it's beautiful.
It might look odd because I only have legs with me today.
That's okay.
But of course, you have to imagine the end product is going to look quite phenomenal. So
Okay.
these are quite detailed, as you can see. And today I'm going to show you how to use glaze.
Okay.
So some people use waxes, some people do whitewashes to show texture, but I love using glaze.
Okay, awesome.
I think it has a maximum impact, and as you know, I like to play with bold and fun colors and patterns.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
So first thing I'll do is I'll just show you how to apply the base coat.
Okay.
This is pretty simple. I have my paint here. Since I'm using white, I did have to use 3 coats on the legs, but you can also use a primer. You can also use gray, a light gray as a base coat, so that you don't need to use so much of your white paint. But I specifically chose this brush here. It's a bit of a rounder brush, as you can see. Sometimes it has a little bit of a point,
Yeah.
but it helps a lot to get in all of the grooves and all of the details.
I love using round brushes
Oh,
for this
yeah.
kind of thing because
Yeah.
they just get into all the details and it just kind of hugs all the side. They're one
Yeah.
of my favorite brushes to use.
Absolutely, me too, especially for smaller surfaces or just unique grooves. So what I'm doing here is I especially want to poke in there in the little cracks, little grooves. You can also use smaller brushes if you need to.
Yeah, and you're trying to get into all the little bits because you want this completely covered. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So we're just going to do this 2 or
Okay.
3 coats when you're ready. In between coats, it's always a good idea to just do a light sand. Some paints self-level. Some paints you'll see a little bit of the brush strokes,
Yeah.
but you can use light sandpaper just in between coats to help remove some of those surfaces.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to apply a top coat. So a top coat's important because it protects your work, of
Yeah.
course. Here, I'll just move this in
I
front
can
of
move
you
this,
there.
yep,
Thank
perfect.
you.
This gorgeous leg right here.
And I came prepared, so this one here is an example of it painted.
Yeah, and the magic of TV. Here we go. Yeah.
And so I'm going to use a different brush. Well, it's the same brush, just it doesn't have the paint on it. And then I'm just going to go straight to the top coat. And I won't spend too much time here
Okay.
because it's essentially just the same thing. It is a little bit more liquid than
Okay.
a paint. So it's a little bit more forgiving. A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to just apply this everywhere.
Maybe while you're doing this, can you talk a little bit about the coffee table, the picture that we saw of that gorgeous coffee table, what your inspiration was for that?
Yes, of course. That coffee table, sorry. The thing with white, too, that I have to say, is all of the little fibers in the air will catch onto
yes.
the paint.
Yeah, so you have to kind of snip
So,
to it. Yeah,
catch
yeah.
it as you're painting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, oh, there's your coffee table again. Yeah, what was
yes.
your inspiration for that?
So my inspiration for this piece was actually the Alexandra Bridge here in Ottawa-Gatineau. I commute on this bridge every day, and I'm constantly in awe of its architecture and its perfect imperfections, and it is just covered in this patchwork of blues and gray tones, rust, industrial steel,
Yeah.
and oversized bolts, and I just wanted to paint a piece that really represented the beauty that I admire of it
Yeah.
every day, and
Yeah.
I'm really quite proud of
Yeah,
that table.
no, it's fantastic.
yeah.
You can definitely see the. You can definitely see the your inspiration. You can see definitely parts of it.
It will be a hard one to part with.
Yeah. So we've
Okay.
got about a minute and a half
Yes.
left.
I'll move on.
Oh, perfect.
And this is the fun part. So we definitely.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'll
Here,
give that
we
to
can
you.
do this here. There's the second step right here.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
So here we're going to apply glaze.
Okay, so this is after the
yes.
the top coat has dried and we're ready to go to the glaze. Okay.
And I forgot to mention, you want to do the top coat first because paint can be, and especially on the wood, it can be porous,
Yeah.
and the glaze can seep through it.
Okay.
And it won't have the same effect that you want. So with glaze, I tend to work a little bit at a time because it can dry a little bit fast. You really want to manipulate it so it does what you want it to
Okay.
do.
We've got about a minute left.
Okay. So I'm applying the glaze here. The glaze goes on a little bit lighter. When it dries, it does dry darker.
Okay.
And then I always have my shop rags handy,
Okay.
and they're soaked in water already. So I'm going to just wipe off the excess glaze. So it's only a little example here, but I'll show you the end product in a minute. And then again, you can leave as much or as little as you want. I want it to be dramatic, so I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to layer it on, and I'm going to at least do 2 or 3 coats.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to bring this out
Of
because
course.
I want everyone to be able to see this before we go. That there's the end result. Look at it. It's gorgeous. Such
So this is the
beautiful
finished
work.
product.
Fantastic. And I love it. It really brings all the details to life. So, Camille, maybe you can tell us real quick how people can find you.
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram at the Urban Upcycler Ottawa.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. We had a really great show. You've learned lots of tips. So happy painting and happy thrifting. See you soon.